folks, welcome back to the channel. I am yours truly, and today I'm going to go into the ACC. Now, I've saved this conference because it's going to start a series of conference predictions that have no divisions, meaning they scrap the divisions. They're basically everybody's grouped into one big division, and the top two of each conference will make it a conference championship to play each other for the title. So ACC, the Big 12, and Pac-12 are going to that model, and eventually SEC and the Big 10 will next year. But for this year, they have divisions. So as you're going to see, there's only going to be the top 7 in each conference. Why 7? Because you have 7 schools per division, and the SEC and the Big 10, and I just wanted to make everything even. So between all the conferences, and if I did all 12 or all 14 teams, it would be a huge headache per conference. And once you get down to the bottom of the conference, it's pretty much like saying which garbage can is the most appealing, then the next appealing, and then you get down to the bottom of the barrel where it's like, ugh, that team's horrible. So that's, if you don't like me doing the top 7, oh well, you can click off the video if you want to and cry about it if you want. It doesn't really matter to me, but I figured to get that out of the way before people get confused on why I only do the top 7. So like I mentioned before, like I mentioned with the SEC and the Big 10 videos, these are not merely saying this team is going to win the division, or this team is going to win the conference. It's me predicting how I think they're going to finish in the conference standings. Now, like I mentioned before, the top 2 would have to play each other, and whoever wins that game wins the Big 10, or not the Big 10, the conference title. So pretty much whoever wins the regular season conference title has got a 50-50 shot of winning the conference championship in theory. And another thing that I want to get out there before we get started is, I know there's going to be some people's like, what the fuck? Why is this team ahead of that team, and that team below them is clearly better than the team that's ahead of them? Well, like I said before, the conference schedules are not going to be created equally. Some schools are going to be able to avoid either a large chunk of the powerhouse teams, or they're just going to be able to avoid them altogether. And that's very rare instances where they get to avoid them altogether. Now, I'm not going to rate the teams purely on that. There's more to it than just saying, oh, this team gets to skip out on facing off with the top 3 teams in that conference. So, anyways, let's look into the ACC and predict the tops, or the running order for the ACC in 2023. Coming in at 7th for the ACC is Duke. Now, this spot could have went. It was a 50-50 toss-up, as you're going to find out with not only with this video, but with some of the videos coming up with the Big 12 and the Pac-12. This spot could have went to Miami. It's a 50-50 toss-up. But I just think Duke is going to be a little bit better in 2023 compared to Miami, even though Miami may have a little bit better schedule for them as far as success. I just have to trust what Duke is bringing back on both sides of the ball this year. I think Duke will finish 7th in the division, or in the conference, excuse me. Coming in at 6th for the ACC is going to be Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh this year is going to bring back a good defense like usual. The biggest X factor is their offense. It's going to really determine whether Pittsburgh is going to be in the running for in the conversation to make it to the conference championship game or not. I tend to lean on that they're going to just fall short on offense. So I have Pittsburgh at 6th. Coming in at number 5 is probably going to be my most controversial pick of this ACC Conference Prediction. It's going to be Louisville. Reason I say Louisville, before I get to people say, what are you talking about? Louisville ain't shit. You know, they were a dumpster fire last year. Yeah, I know that. But what Louisville has the advantage of this year is not having to play Clemson or Florida State at all, and their schedule sets up pretty easy for Louisville. So I think they're going to be a top 5 team in the ACC just purely on schedule alone. Now, do I think Louisville's a top 5 team overall in the ACC? No, but just due to their schedule, the way it worked out is that they avoid both Clemson and Florida State. Coming in 4th in the ACC is going to be another surprising team. I think it's going to be NC State this year. For some reason, I have a lot of hope and a lot of optimism with NC State. I think they're a sleeping giant in the ACC. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the ACC and make the playoff, no. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on NC State this year. They do have to play Clemson, but they avoid Florida State this year. The reason I keep on referencing those two is those are, as you'll see later on in the video, those are going to be the 2 best teams in the ACC. So, NC State, in my prediction, is going to finish 4th. Coming into the top 3 for the ACC is going to be North Carolina. I think North Carolina this year is still going to be one of the better teams in the ACC despite having a flawed defense and Drake May coming back. I think they're going to be at 3. Just like NC State, they do have to play Clemson, but they also avoid having to play Florida State this year. So, kind of a positive for North Carolina. So, yeah, make North Carolina 3rd on the ACC standings this year, and just missing out on the conference championship. We're coming in at number 2 for for the ACC standings is Florida State. The reason I have them at 2 versus 1 is because largely due to them playing at Clemson this year. If it was a home game for Florida State, then I might be able to move them up to number 1. And the main concern that I have with Florida State is which Florida State are we going to get this year? Are we going to get the Florida State that beat LSU in week 1, or are we going to get the Florida State that lost to Wake Forest at home? So this is the same team this year as it was last year, just about. So we're coming in at number 2 for for the ACC standings is Florida State. The reason I have them at 2 versus 1 is because largely due to them playing at Clemson this year. If it was a home game for Florida State, then I might be able to move them up to number 1. And the main concern that I have with Florida State is which Florida State are we going to get this year? Are we going to get the Florida State that beat LSU in week 1, or we're going to get the Florida State that lost to Wake Forest at home? So this is the same team this year as it was last year, just about. So that's going to wrap up the 2023 conference prediction for the ACC. As you can see, Clemson is going to be the quote-unquote regular season champion of the conference. Now, it doesn't really matter if you put Florida State or above Clemson or Clemson above Florida State. It really doesn't matter. Whoever you like, whoever makes you sleep better at night, okay, go for it. All that matters in the ACC from this year going forward is who's going to be the top 2 teams in the conference, because the top 2 teams are going to be playing for the conference title, and the winner of that game wins the ACC. So whoever wins the regular season is just purely for bragging rights at this point and going forward. It pretty much means nothing other than maybe getting home uniforms for the ACC championship game. Whoop-de-doo. So that concludes it. So my thoughts is that I kind of knew with the ACC that there was a tier of teams in the top three. You kind of knew what those teams were, but fourth through seventh and even beyond that is you could make an argument to move a team from like eighth or ninth, or not even eighth or ninth, but let's just say you can make an argument that the seventh best team should be the fourth best team because of this, that, the other, or the fourth best team is going to be really should be the seventh best team. I would say fourth through about ninth, and the conference is in its own tier. So the what it really came down to for a lot of these is who do they play, and how good is their roster. So, and how much production they're returning back. So, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking the video. If you enjoyed the type of content that I'm producing here, consider subscribing to the channel. I tend to post every day, or at least every other day. All I'm trying to say is I post frequently on here. What the hell? What am I talking about? I post here frequently. Excuse my loose lips. So I do appreciate everybody's support, and I thank everybody that tunes in and spends their time with me each and every day. And I appreciate all the love, all the support. I'm trying to make it up there with the big leagues too. I'm my goals and ambitions are to make it up with the big leagues with a shoestring budget right now. So with every like and every new subscriber, along with the subscribers that I'm getting now, I want to say thank all of you, because without you guys, I probably wouldn't be doing this, or I wouldn't have the motivation to keep doing this. So I want to say thanks for everybody's support. And I'll see y'all next time.